Well, people, what is going on out here tonight? When I tell you all, it is a lot in the atmosphere, if you will. And I believe somebody tried to jinx me. I ain't even gonna say no names, but I do believe somebody tried to jinx me. I had a little technical difficulties and everything. But we're gonna talk about some things tonight. And then my picture is not its normal clear self. I had to switch at the last minute. I had all kind of technical difficulties. So they say. But anyway, people, listen. I wasn't even going to do the show tonight, but I had a conversation. And I really just want to tell y'all about this conversation. But I want to give uh, a couple of people an opportunity to get on because a lot of people thought that the show probably wasn't going to be on tonight because I wasn't here at 8 o'clock on the dot. All right. Right now, I'm getting ready to copy this link and send it to uh, one or two people before I jump in the game. Well, y'all know who he is up here, Nikki Carter. Yeah, she always somewhere lurking in the system. Nikki Carter, how's it going? Glad to see you on the show tonight, and hopefully you're not causing any mischief. Uh, and y'all know I really just be messing with Nikki because I'm very appreciative that she's been with the show for as long as she has. And Veronica, how you doing tonight, Veronica? Glad to see you. Some of y'all just saw the headlines, if you will, and that just made y'all say, "Let me go and pop up on this show and see if he really talking crazy or not." But I am not, of course. I am about to do one thing, and then I'll be ready to roll. All right. So look here, people. First and foremost, first person on the show that I was able to see. Anyway, I can't say she was the first person, but Nikki Carter, what's going on? Then we got Veronica. Hello, Veronica. We are glad to see you tonight. And there's some more y'all. I see y'all hiding and lurking in the shadows because you don't want to pop in. But listen, people. Again, I wasn't even gonna do the show tonight. I was about to get me some rest and relaxation, but I had an old conversation. Y'all know sometimes you have a conversation with a person, um, and it sparks you to wanting to sit down with old Joe Public. And tonight, y'all are Joe or Jane Public. And we are going to talk about, and the title that y'all saw was Broke Dudes, Gold Diggers, and how we view each other in our culture. And for tonight's purposes, when I say our culture, that is not based on anything other than our being this generation. All right. I don't want y'all to get your pitchforks out too fast because I have no doubt that they shall be springing into action here shortly. But to protect the innocent, I'm not going to tell y'all the person's name because I don't want y'all to feel no kind of way about this individual. But I was having what I believed at first to be a well-rounded conversation, right? But it went left. It went left because, matter of fact, let me tell y'all a little backdrop. So I got this homeboy. His name is Ray. I ain't gonna tell y'all his last name because some of y'all know some Rays, and I ain't talking about a ray of sunshine, but the name is old Ray, right? And Ray was in a conversation with somebody else today. And during that conversation, the person he was chiming with, brainstorming some concepts with, if you will, that person had the audacity, like many people do. That person made a comment that says, why? And I think that they were talking about the spending patterns of people, and when you start showing an interest in someone, if you will, and how I believe that Ray was speaking from a perspective of personal wisdom, potentially. I don't know, because I didn't ask him that, but there was a part of the dialogue that came when Ray was simply trying to explain to this other individual, we won't put no sprinkle no dust on that person's name, because we ain't even gonna give them no airplay and help they little profile blow up in the system. But Ray was speaking of finding it strange that there are times when a person just meets somebody, and when they just meet a person, then the individual, in this case, we're talking about a woman, a female, and Ray was saying, and I may misquote him a little bit, so please don't hold my feet to the fire on that, but you'll get the gist of what I'm saying in a minute. Ray was saying that he finds it odd that women will get mad or feel some kind of way if a guy that they just met doesn't want to spend the proverbial bag on them immediately, and that sometimes based on the way that they carry themselves after finding out, or wanting this guy to spend the bag, Ray wanted to know what's with the gold digging coming from some women, not all. Now, Ray is old school. So you when he's talking, he's not putting this out on everybody. He's talking about, y'all, there go Gwendolyn, Lady Elegance Pritchard. She says she's shining in from the Rocket City, Alabama. But let's not get sidetracked by Alabama. So Ray was asking the question in the midst of this dialogue with this other person. He was like, well, what's with all the gold digging? So the other person, who shall remain nameless as we seek to protect the innocent or guilty, the other person said, and ladies, y'all might stand in solidarity with her. I don't know. Because, some of y'all got pitchfork problems anyway. Y'all down with the Me Too movement. But the other person said, it seems like it's always the broke dudes. And keep in mind, she ain't say dudes now. But the gist of it was, it seems like the dudes, the regular smegular dudes, who ain't got nothing, is always talking about somebody's a gold digger. Now, in hearing of this conversation, I became intrigued because I'm trying to understand. Ray was making a point, I believe, that sometimes men feel a certain kind of way because a regular dude who might have interest in a particular woman one way or another would like to just be able to go do, quote unquote, some regular things. He don't feel like he should have to spin the bag. He don't believe that he should have to take a whole paycheck to take somebody out to get some respect put on his name in these proverbial dating streets. And I gotta admit, old Remy Raymond got a point that most men can stand by, which is, if I'm trying to get to know you, why is what I financially earn of any importance at this stage of the game? But this other person, this lady, if you will, she was talking about is broke dudes. And I got to be honest with y'all. She didn't call us broke dudes. She used the N word on us. She said it's broke ends, quote unquote, that always be hollering about gold diggers, but they ain't got nothing for them to gold dig on because they ain't got nothing. Let Veronica come on and shine through. Veronica said, I would never expect a man to buy me gifts, especially when we first meet. Money doesn't impress me. What does impress me is who the man is down to his soul. See, now I'm gonna tell y'all, sister girl, something. Now, y'all gonna keep letting Veronica come on this show and lay down these guidelines and make y'all look a little some kind of way. Because I'm not saying that Veronica is thinking any differently from y'all, but I am saying she the first person to speak up. She happens not to be of African American descent. And she's saying, I ain't looking for your check. I'm trying to check to see who you are down here, down in your chest area, inside the cavity of your cage. She want to know what your soul, what your heart is like. Why is it on one hand, somebody is calling us broke ends and saying that we ain't blowing the bag, that it might be something wrong with us. Meanwhile, you got Veronica done popped up and said, hey, look, I wouldn't even expect a man to blow the bag on me when we're just meeting. I just want to know what kind of dude he is. Now, see, Ray, Veronica is talking. Veronica is on that Ray stuff. She's saying, hey, I just want to get to meet somebody. Now, in fairness to this person who was putting a spotlight on regular dudes, the point I think, and I'm just guessing because there's no proof to this, but I think the point she might have been trying to make was guys with no money or that don't have a certain fiscal means are the ones who complain, and that those who have the financial well-being to be able to do certain things never make an argument about it. And that could be true. But I want to reflect back on something that Veronica just said. Most of them dudes that's willing to blow the bag on you, maybe they're an entertainer, maybe they've made it into successfully, professionally, or whatever. They don't care about blowing money because they're paying you to keep quiet. They ain't trying to figure out what kind of woman you are. They ain't trying to figure out your great qualities. They're paying you to keep you distracted, if you will. See, Ray said he's a good dude with a good heart. He ain't got to blow the bag because he got enough inside of him to keep you emotionally occupied. But see, ladies, it got me to thinking. This individual is not the only one who feels that way. Because, and I would dare to say this individual, she ain't old, but I would dare to say she's at least 40 and older. Okay? So she ain't even no spring chicken. And she's using phrases like broke dudes and is offended by someone calling a woman a gold digger if she is requesting that somebody blow the bag, or as Ray was just pointing out in his dialogue, that all Ray, I believe, was attempting to say is that there are some, not all, women that when they meet a person, they begin to extrapolate what his financial power is with the mindset of maybe it will benefit me. Now, ladies, I got a question for you. First and foremost, ladies, how would you feel? And it's just a question of curiosity. How would you feel if you first met somebody and they were checking to see how much money you made? I'm just saying. Matter of fact, let me not be presumptive. Are there any women on the show right now who believes that there are men who equally be trying to check to see what your pocketbook look like? Does that happen to women? Uh-oh. Heather Dickens Tuck says, just got on here, but 41 years young. Over 50 still got it going on. Hey, now, Heather, listen, Heather. I mean no disrespect to some of you songbirds out there. I don't have no problem with it. Listen, I'm over 50, so I don't believe 50 is in the crypt by any means. Okay, but I wanted to give a perspective of the demographic of age of the person who was talking about some gold digging. All right. And Heather, I appreciate you coming on the show, and stick around if you see. Y'all know what Heather just said. Heather said if a man was checking for her wallet and how much she makes in the meet and greet stages of their friendship, she'll tell him kick rocks. You know what, Heather? I agree with you. Let's see what Veronica said. Veronica says, so say, for instance, two individuals meet. One is very successful in their career, having banked to live a certain lifestyle. But what would happen if he or she lost their job? The income ended and the partner didn't have bank, calls it off. It wasn't no love there, but the love of money. See, I think, I just want to know, woo, y'all better say something, because Veronica is really putting y'all on the spot tonight. Matter of fact, Veronica putting y'all on the spot, Heather putting y'all on the spot. I'm telling y'all somebody better speak up and say something, because that's factual. And Ray, if you listening and you run across that person who had those thoughts, you ought to ask him what Veronica said. What would, if it's not about the bag, if it's not about shoveling for a little gold, then the question is, what would you say if you met somebody who had the bag and you wanted to endeavor a little further into the relationship because you knew that the proverbial pocket strings was pretty deep? But what if they lost it? Would you then kick them to the curb? Now, I'm not saying that was the conversation of person A when they was talking to Ray. Let me see what Heather said. Heather says, should have your own gold mine by that time to not need anyone. Uh-oh now. Whoa. Heather then brought up a secondary point I must add. Heather said, by the time you get 40 and older, you need to have your own bag, so it shouldn't matter what it. Heather, you know what? Girl, you might be the person of the day. Heather's saying, and matter of fact, let me chime in on that, because I want to ask y'all a few questions, if you will. So, if you don't have your own bag, or maybe you do. Matter of fact, let me give women the benefit of the doubt, because many women have significant, anymore, what's going on, girl? Glad to see you. Many women have significant earning power in the workforce. Okay. Matter of fact, we're going to give the person that Ray was talking to, we're going to give that person the benefit of the doubt, and we're going to assume maybe she got her own bag. The problem is I don't think it matters to some women whether they got their own bag or not. They might not want to spend their bag. And matter of fact, Heather done chimed in again. Heather is actually, this might be her first night ever on the show, but she is joining in like she is an active participant. She said, oh, well, if no fault of their own, but there are plenty of jobs, ain't no shame in an honest job as long as it's honest work. Latiana Matthews, what's going on? Glad you on the show tonight. So listen, Heather said it ain't no problem with a regular dude and ain't no problem with an honest job. So let's go back. Ladies, let me ask you this question. How many women are out here financially spoiling their man? And do in our society, is that even a thing? I'll wait. I just want to know. Because why is there an expectation that a hardworking man be willing to blow his money in a certain capacity? Whatever happened to the good old days when you had you a hardworking dude? Maybe he was in construction. Maybe he was a custodial. Maybe he was somebody with a good heart. And maybe, there go Essie Shepherd, what's going on with the armor bearer, keeping them wolves off my back. And maybe the regular dude, he didn't have a bag to blow on you, but what he could do was get off work on a Friday evening and take you down and let you get a fish fry or two. Take you to the local restaurant and sit down at the buffet with you and talk about how your week was and how you feeling. See, I believe that the problem is too many folks that might got bags that's willing to blow the bag. So now women out here don't know how to appreciate the regular smegular dude. We shouldn't even be talking about nobody's bag. Okay? Matter of fact, they tell me, hey, and I said I was gonna ask this question because y'all know sometimes I'm a little old, so I don't be down with the streets as much as some of y'all. But what? Matter of fact, let me ask this question. Then I'm gonna read what Veronica said. What constitutes a broke dude? Because somebody said earlier that a broke dude is somebody that makes $100,000 a year or less. Sprinkle that on your spirit for a second. Let's see what Veronica talking about. She said, Veronica said, I agree. I was dependent on others most of my life until my divorce in 2011. I'm not saying I have a bank account, but I take care of myself and my child since then. But props to the women that have their own bag. One day I'll be that woman. Well, let me tell you something, Veronica. You already got a bag. It might not be a big bag in terms of dollars, but the way you think about human beings makes you rich anyway. So there is no doubt that you are successful emotionally. Lacey Greer, what's going on, girl? I am glad to see you. Heather said, that's nice. Lacey Greer say a broke mindset. Lacey, well, what is a broke mindset? Because that's the second time today I done heard about a mindset. All right. Detective Pamela Black, what you doing, girl? Glad to see you on the show. See, ladies, I need to know what's the numerical figure. How much does a man have to earn for y'all to be calling him a broke dude? Because one person said 100 grand or less makes you broke. So I just want to know, what do y'all other ladies say? What's the numerical figure? Me and Ray want to know how is y'all calling some folks? See, because let me tell y'all something. I've been in the game a long time, right? And here's the thing. I know folks that make $1 million a year and they have amassed a fortune in land and assets in upwards of $3.5 million. And they are strapped and stressed all the time because even though they earn that much, they live outside of their means. So what you earn does not make you wealthy, and it certainly doesn't equate to you having a bag. What it means is that you got a pay statement, you have a tax statement that says you have contributed to generating a certain amount of money. But make no mistake about it, what you have generated is never what you have access to. Y'all. Heather, listen, I don't know what they are sprinkling in Bunnyville, but Heather and Veronica they taking it to the next level. Heather said marriage ain't 50-50, it's 100-100. Uh-oh. Heather, I don't even know where you came from, but let me tell you this. I'm glad everybody give Heather a hand clap. This is her first night on the show, but Heather came with the heat. She is not playing. Whatever her and Veronica is on tonight, some of y'all need to, here go Veronica again. Veronica said, wow, that's a loaded question. I've been broke, but my bills got paid, food on my table and clothes on my back. So I don't have a position to judge anyone for what they have or don't have. Veronica, you know what? Some of y'all gonna make me send y'all a cash app. I ain't paying y'all to be on the show, but y'all done inspired me. And see, fellas, I want y'all to look at something. And I know I'm gonna catch some flack for this out here in the listening lands. But fellas, let this be a message to you. You got Heather and Veronica out here talking about regular dudes is enough. They ain't looking at your bank account. They want you to be able to stand on your own 10 toes. And that's what I'm talking about. Lacey done stepped in. She done moved in. She said, I agree. That 50-50 is played out. Let me see what else we got. Nikki Carter said, hold up. You sending folks a cash app? No. Why is you tripping? Ain't nobody sending you and your Me Too movement self nothing, no way. I'm saying I'm inspired to know that the concept of being broke, attaching it to a certain dollar amount, that you do have legitimate people out here in this system. Hold on, let me see. Hey, look, I'm gonna invite Heather to be a special guest anchor on the show. Heather said you can have all the money as long as money don't have you. Look, y'all, Heather out here rapping on y'all. I don't even know what to say. But I want y'all to process. Veronica said, Lacey Greer, why would I want half of someone or they get half of me? Nah, I ain't rocking with it. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something Veronica just said, and it's deep too. See, some of y'all operate on what can your man provide you that gives you comfort, so you ain't even got to spend yours. But she said, why would I want to get half of my man, or why would I want to give my man half of me? See, but a lot of people ain't thinking that way. Look, most dudes will work 3 jobs to make sure that his family is good. Okay? Most dudes that really feel like they are valued, there is no levels to what they won't do to make sure that their family good. But I tell you something about a good woman. A good woman ain't gonna ask her man to go out there and work 3 jobs so she could go get a bag and put it on the shelf that costs more than what she got to put in it. And again, I ain't talking about everybody, because there's some women out there making good money. But I don't care what you make, if your mindset is, let me take everything he's got, or let him work himself into the casket to try to make sure that I can be out here splurging. He's so tired from working. Ray got a point. Ray got a point, y'all. That, and again, I want y'all to sprinkle this on your spirit. If you're not what you're looking for, you don't have a right to ask somebody to be something you could never be. Most men just want to be valued. They want to be appreciated. They want to be loved. And above all, they want loyalty. Y'all, listen. I'm about to get the cash apps flowing. Veronica said men are people too. They need to hear how much they appreciated, respected, and loved. Women, most, forget to show their man that they are just as important as us women are. Look, where's the mic? I wish I could drop the mic on that one. Okay? Heather said, that's selfish both ways. I can't even go no further. I got to rewind. Y'all hear that rewind sound? I got to read what Veronica said one more time. She said, men are people too. Ray, if you out there listening right now, Veronica has acknowledged that men are people too. And ladies, Veronica is telling y'all that men need to hear how much they are appreciated, respected, and loved. I just want to ask most of y'all. Lacey Greer coming in, what she said? She said, I'm saying sometimes it'll be 70-30 or 60-40. What if you get laid off or something happens where you won't be able to do 50-50? All right. She said, yes, they do. Look here. Lacey said, yes, men need to know they are valued. Well, I just need to know why in the Sam Blazing Hills is it so hard for y'all to show a brother like Ray that he's appreciated. That's what I want to know. See, we ain't got no business talking about broke dudes. See, because I would dare to say the average dude would not be broke if he wasn't trying to splurge on a woman. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the statistics. And see, y'all still ain't told me what's the dollar figure. One person said if you make $100,000 a year or less, then you a broke dude. Hold on, Ray. Veronica done sent you a message, Ray. She said, Ray, you are appreciated. Even put a little heart sign for you. Ray, somebody loves you out there. They don't even know you, and they got love because they hearing your story. See, that's why I love the public. Because the public can bring you down, but they can sure lift you up. And I'm just saying this, people. See, and while this is not a racial conversation, let me see. Lacey Greer said, I agree. Men deal with a lot, and it's good to cater and show appreciation. Doesn't mean you're weak. Take care of home. Matter of fact, that just touched my spirit. She said men deal with a lot and it's good to cater. When is the last time, ladies? Let me just go on, kick back and ask this question. When is the last time that you took your man out somewhere and told him, don't get your wallet out. Don't take that bank card out. I got you tonight. When is the last time that you did something? When is the last time that you hugged your man and said, you know what? I value you. When is the last time you took that dude that yesterday you was calling broke and told him, I don't care how much money you got because you've been sticking with and putting up with me for so long and I know I'm a handful. I just want to know when is the last time that a man got some respect in your household? Instead of you sitting around bragging and talking about men is broke. Men shouldn't have to even be considering things like who's a gold digger and who's not. The only time that a man even considers something about gold digging is when there's been a situation where what? He feels like that finances is always at the core of conversation. I'm telling y'all, I'm amazed. I'm amazed, but I'm also inspired to believe because with you ladies, some of you, now some of y'all been quiet all night. Some of y'all ain't had nothing to say because you on the hot seat. But I wanna give thanks to a few ladies. First of all, let me see what Veronica said. She says some don't know how to talk about their feelings, worries, or fears because in them it's been in them since they were young that men don't show emotions or feelings. Love them if you have one in your life because if you don't, there's another that look here. I don't know where the men at tonight, but I know on Valentine's Day, it's a lot of people going to get some flowers from the Sinclair show. Veronica just told y'all that if you don't love your man, somebody else will. Heather said, we both cook. We both okay. we both clean, and we both do for the other. See, that right there, some of y'all ain't gonna do nothing for your man. Now, I ain't saying it's all people, but I am wondering, with all these African American women on this show, why I ain't getting I ain't even getting no amens. Let me tell y'all, I want to send a special thanks to Heather, to Veronica, to Lacey Greer, to anybody that has stepped up and had something positive to say about men, because it tells a story. All right? It tells a story that as many listeners as I have that frequent this show all the time, as many that's on right now, I could call your names. I could click on your names and show the dozens and dozens that's up here. I got 3 people standing up for men. And see, sometimes when you ask a question and somebody don't want to give you an answer, I asked a question about 5 minutes ago. I said, ladies, what is the amount of money that a person must be earning to be considered a broke dude? At least one woman said $100,000 a year in earnings makes you broke. So I need to know, ladies, what the rest of y'all say. What's the numerical? Because some of us dudes, we need to know if y'all considering us to be broke or not. I'll wait. Ray, we on the road tonight, big dog. We getting all the information, and it's very telling. Uh-oh. Heather said, water your garden or it dries up. Yes, I agree. If you don't pay attention, there is, I promise, someone else who wants them. Hey, look here, Ray. Heather just said the same thing Veronica said, that if for some reason y'all women that's out here calling the regular guy who goes to work every day, who according to one earns $100,000 or less a year, who is willing to do the very best he can, cook you a meal, rub your feet from time to time, might get your nails done every now and then. Heather said, if you don't want him, she guarantee you that there is somebody out here who do, and that if you keep playing around, you're going to be sitting around with your same crew that got the same mentality by yourself. Heather said, what is broke? If we got food, a warm bed, a good job, and company, I'm happy. See, that right there, I don't know. It ain't looking good for the sister girls tonight. I'm just going to go and put it out there. I ain't had but one, and that's Lacey Greer to step up. Y'all have got me baffled. I thought y'all would have took this time to step up and voice your opinions, but your silence speaks volumes. Because see, it seems like to me that some of y'all agree with that person that Ray was talking to. Y'all looking at dudes and y'all sitting around here thinking about the regular guy like he's less than, because he ain't buying Birkin bags and he ain't around here splurging. Let me tell you something. And I hate to even say this because I know it's going to come back on me later. I could buy any bag that they make and won't. There is nothing that someone that I care about wants or needs that I am not capable of doing. But it would make me feel some kind of way that if I'm looking at securing our financial future and you come to me talking about you want a $5,000 purse, that you would look at me some kind of way if I tell you that ain't in my plans. That's not in our budget. Now, I make it. Now, let me say this. And you can check the stats. You can check the records. You can let them reflect if you want. I make it so that whatever you do with the money you earn, you good with it. So from that perspective, if you want that $5,000 bag, you should be able to go get it because I'm taking care of most of the heavy weight in the relationship. Uh-oh, here we go. Any more old school done popped up. Let me tilt my hat to the side a little bit. Annie Moore said, how can you be a broke dude pulling 100 grand a year? It sounds like the woman is a gold digger. For me, it's not all about money if you're treating me with love and respect. Here we go. Here we go. Y'all, I got to read that one more time. One more again for the people in the small seats. Annie Moore said, how can you be a broke dude making 100 racks a year? It sounds like the woman is a gold digger. Ray, you might be on to something, big dog. She said, for me, it's not all about the money if you're treating me with love and respect. See, love and respect must have played out in these proverbial streets. Let's see what Veronica talking about. Veronica said a dollar amount. Well, you know what? Veronica is on one today. She said a dollar amount. Let me say this right here. If my man that I don't have works as a janitor and we have the bills paid, food to eat, well, honey, that man is already a rich man because he's a good man. Key word, good man. Uh-oh. Ray, put that out there in them streets. Lacey said, I don't need my man to make a certain amount of money. I don't need to ask for a certain bag, shoes, etc. Let's invest in something like real estate. Uh-oh. Detective Pamela Black says she agreed with Annie Moore. That ain't no way in the world there's somebody out here calling a dude that making 100 grand a year a broke dude. I would even go a step further. Let me just say this, because I'm a man of the people. Let me get my collar right. I ponder, if you will, if the dude making 100 racks a year is broke because he's trying to provide things for somebody that really don't give a rat about him, if he wasn't blowing the bag on this proverbial woman who got these lavish desires, he could probably put that money in the bank. I don't think that dude making 100 racks is broke. But I don't want to be the one to say it because I'm a dude. I want to know what you ladies think. I got at least 3 of y'all that's sprinkling that dust. Ray, we winning tonight, big dog. Men is back in action. And see, I just got to know. Because I ain't heard none of y'all say when was the last time you did something for your man. Uh-oh, here we go. Veronica says, how much does this woman make a year? Does she make 100 grand or more? Probably not. Okay, but look, Veronica, we gonna give the lady the benefit of the doubt. Let's say she make 200, 300, 400. I don't care what she made. And you know what? And that's the beauty about most dudes. Most dudes don't care how much a woman makes because she generally ain't spending it on him no way. So even if she makes over 100 grand, the fact that y'all said, hey, look, a dude that treats you well, 100 grand, he is not broke. I'm just trying to understand. Ray, how you feeling tonight, man? You done gave us a topic tonight that has sparked the world. And I just want you to know it's some people, Ray, that said, you a good dude, keep your head up. And it wasn't even about Ray. That's what's so funny. What? You know what? I'm proud of this show tonight, and I wasn't even going to do it. But y'all have inspired me. Y'all have given me some food for thought because it is something to behold. On this show tonight, I could say I seen at least 5 women who stood up for the regular guy. And that means something. Ladies, I can tell you, me being an old regular guy, I just want to let y'all know something. We appreciate y'all. All of y'all that stood up for us tonight. All of y'all who spoke up and talked about us like we was human beings. All of you all that said all we got to do is be able to stand on our own 10 toes and meet you in the game so we could grow together. I want to say thank you from the bottom of me and Ray's heart out there. And whoever else is on the show. Because the reality of it is this. Far too often, nobody says a good thing about a good dude. We hear all the time about the bad guys. We hear all the time about those that don't do right. We hear women talking about dudes is broken, ain't got enough. And some of y'all done let it be known that it is enough to be a good dude with good work ethic who earns a regular living. And fellas, go find you somebody. What Heather done said? Heather said it's the Bible. Treat others how you want to be treated. No matter how others treat you, you can't let them change who you are. Listen to the little angel speaking about the Bible. Let the church say amen. Check this out, people, because I got to go. I done spent far too much time with you all tonight, but y'all have really blessed me. I still got confidence in the women of the world because y'all have stood up where many would not. I'm going to leave y'all with that right there. Heather said our men do need more support. I'm going to holler at y'all later. I got to go. Till next week, treat your man right.